We are the first generation with no purpose. Every generation before Gen Z didn't have to worry about what their purpose would be or what they would do with their life. The men of previous generations knew what they needed to do, and it was simple to live a good and happy life. Every young man would go fight in wars together or go work to provide for their families whilst their wife stayed home to look after the family. There was no question or thought about what the purpose of their life was. However, Gen Z has no idea what the purpose of their life is, and as a result, we waste years of our lives wasting time trying to distract ourselves. However, whilst 99% of young men waste their lives, the 1% of men are living better than kings of old ever did, because they realized what their purpose was and they took action to achieve it. By watching this video to the end, you'll learn how to join the top 1% of young men. But first, why is Gen Z, our generation, the first generation with no purpose or mission? Our ancestors had an ancient inherent purpose that was drilled into them from birth. They were supposed to grow up, get a job, work hard, get a wife, have children, and look after them. The older generation of masculine men were supposed to protect and provide for their family and their wife. It wasn't easy work, but it was simple and it was rewarding. They knew they were wanted, and they didn't have to work out what meaningful purpose they needed to do to give their life meaning. Your ancestors, the older generation of masculine men, they had to work hard, but their hard work was rewarded. For working a simple job, they were able to retire their wife so she could look after the kids. For working a simple job, he was able to buy a nice house, cars, and live a good and comfortable life. Men were needed and appreciated, but now, that's no longer the case. Men can no longer live an amazing life just by getting a job and providing for your woman and family. That's no longer the meta. Simply trying to provide for your family is a sure way to end up divorced and depressed. Now men need to be something more than just a person who works to give your family money for the rest of your life. You need to be deeper than that. Now, decades ago, the older generation of masculine men had a meaningful reason to work hard, but that was stolen from us. Men used to be seen as essential and needed. However, decades of feminism and the modern culture's propaganda has taught men that being masculine is toxic and evil, so we should be more feminine and in touch with our emotions and be less masculine. However, on the other hand, women were taught that men are useless and that they don't need no man. So basically, men have become more feminine and women have become more masculine. They've switched roles and no one's happy at all because of that. Because of this cultural shift, men are lonelier than ever. Women can't find the masculine men that they want. There's more divorces than ever. And the number of people who never start a family or get married has skyrocketed. Men can no longer live a happy life by just being the provider for their families. Because now both men and women need to work in order to survive. So his wife will have to be the provider for the family as well. Women can no longer live a happy life by just taking care of their family. The government now can collect income tax from both men and women. Corporations have access to twice as much labor, twice as many workers as before, where they had to pay them less income. Basically, the government and the corporations behind it all benefit. However, men and women have to work for much longer, for much worse lives than our grandparents did. Men are no longer masculine, women are no longer feminine. More people than ever don't believe in God or Christianity, or even believe that there's a meaning to life. They just believe that we're here because of an accident. The way we lived for thousands and thousands of years has been destroyed in only 60 years by massive amounts of propaganda convincing women that men and the nuclear family is oppressive, and in every way our lives are so much worse. Men no longer have a religion, family, and the masculine urge to look after the people they care about in order to force them to work hard. Instead, we now have to work hard, not smart, in order to just survive. We're told that men need to work for the next 50 years of our lives doing boring, monotonous jobs that we hate for bosses who treat us like shit in order to be successful. Also, we can then retire at 65 and then we can enjoy our lives. We are not supposed to live like this. We're not supposed to work this much just to survive. As a result of all this, as a result of having to work terrible jobs that don't mean anything to us at all, just in order to survive, is that we spend all of our free time playing video games, scrolling TikTok, watching Netflix, just to get through the day. Men nowadays don't have the energy or the will to date, to work on a meaningful business or a project that would give them financial freedom, or to even exercise. When you don't have any meaning behind why you should work, it's easy to be lazy and to waste your life away living a life of quiet desperation. Without having religion or a family or a purpose to drive ambitious young men forward to work hard, they won't follow their masculine urge to work and build themselves up to achieve greatness. Instead, they'll just try to distract themselves and get as much pleasure as they possibly can in this current moment. Instead, men need a purpose. We need it like we need oxygen. It's a necessity for living a good life as a man. Men need something to conquer, a mission, a goal, a cause that's bigger than ourselves. Your purpose is the meaningful work that you actually want to do every day. This is the work task that you would do even if you were rich and you never had to worry about money again. When you strip purpose away from men, it's so easy for men to become slaves to pleasure and modernity. It's easy for men to lose their confidence and to not even have any goals in life. It's easy for you to fall into addictions like porn or scrolling when you don't have a purpose that you desperately want to achieve. If you're feeling like this now, I want you to know that I've gone through this exact same situation. But everything in your life can change for the better within only a few days of doing the right things. Modern men are facing a hard challenge since we don't have the inherent purpose of providing for our families. We don't have the inherent purpose of religion because that's being stripped away from us. We don't have this thing that we should be working for a higher cause than just survival. But whilst this is terrible news for the 99% of men, whilst it's terrible news for the men who are too lazy to look up from TikTok and actually think about what they want to do for their lives, it's amazing for the 1% of men who are ambitious and willing to go out of their comfort zone. This is good news for ambitious men. If you can discover what your purpose is and you actually take even like one step to follow it, you can beat 99% of other men easily because they're not even trying. Once you figure out what your purpose is, which is basically just the reason behind why you're motivated to do something, the reason why you want to lift weights, or why you want to start a business, or why you want to become more disciplined. Because once you find out the reason why you want to do something, the how is easy. It's easy to figure out the steps of how to achieve something once you know why you want it. So what should your purpose be? I believe that every young man's purpose should be to improve themselves and become the best versions of themselves. And whilst my purpose is going to be a bit different than yours, here's the 3 things that you should keep in mind when you're figuring out what the purpose behind your goals should be. Now, the first step, and this is a priority for all young men, is fixing your mental health. Now just imagine if you have bad mental health. If you have negative thoughts, you struggle with bad addictions, you have anxiety, you keep thinking about your ex-girlfriend or the past when something bad happened to you. Is it going to be easy to go to the gym? Is it going to be easy to start a YouTube channel and post consistently? Is it going to be easy to be disciplined and to do good habits every day? No, of course it's not going to be easy. In fact, it could be even impossible if your mental health is bad enough. But now just imagine if you had amazing mental health, if you constantly had good thoughts, if you meditated every day and you were constantly grateful for the good things in your life. Is it going to be easy to go to the gym every day, to start a YouTube channel, to become disciplined? Of course it is. If you want to improve your life and find your purpose, your main priority must be to fix your mental health. If you want to strengthen your body and your purpose and better your life, you cannot have a weak mind. Or the first time that something goes bad, the first moment that you wake up and you don't feel great, everything is just going to crumble. The greatest habit that you can do right now to fix your mental health is to meditate and practice gratitude journaling. They can be done within 5 minutes every morning and it will improve your mental health significantly within 2 weeks. I've mentioned the exact steps on how to do this in a few other videos. Now, the second step to figuring out what your purpose should be is to remember what your bloodline, what your ancestors went through. Every time you face a challenge and you think that you can't conquer it, that you can't survive it, just remember that your ancestors survived famines, wars, unimaginable hardships in order for you to be sitting and watching this video. Your bloodline has consisted of thousands and thousands and thousands of brave men and women who were able to face these challenges and survive long enough in order to pass down their lineage to you. Whilst other people there died, your ancestors were strong enough to survive and healthy enough to pass on their genes, their DNA. So when you don't know if you can achieve an ambitious goals, remember what your ancestors faced. My ancestors in Scotland fought with Robert the Bruce. My ancestors in Ireland survived the Irish famine. Remembering what they survived through makes it so much easier for me to work out or to work when I don't want to. So if you ever think, oh, I can't do this or this is too difficult, just think of what your ancestors went through. The potential wars, potential battles, the potential famines that they went through and survived for you to be sitting here today. And the final step is to do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. If you want to improve yourself and achieve any ambitious goal, you must be disciplined and be able to do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Discipline is simply doing the work that you don't want to do, but will cause you to live the life that you want to live. It's working out when you're tired. It's filming a video when you want to watch a movie. It's wake up early when you want to sleep in. This is how men achieve greatness. With every great man, from Conor McGregor to Napoleon to Alexander the Great, the success you want isn't found in just one moment or one great moment that lasts 5 minutes, but it's the years and years and years of hours and hours and hours of consistent action. Remember, excellence is a habit, and that you can change anything that you don't like about your life as long as you're willing to put in the consistent work every day. Just remember that literally your entire life could change because of a daily habit that you do every day that takes 5 minutes. It doesn't feel like a lot at the initial part when you first start doing it, but over time you will experience exponential growth where it goes up like this, and your whole life will change before you even realize it. Here's your actionable step for this video. Literally turn off YouTube, turn off your phone, whatever it is, and just stare at a wall, stare at a tree, whatever it is, for like 5, 10, 15 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, and just think and plan about your life. What is it the things that you want to do? Do you want to become a YouTuber? Do you want to become a bodybuilder? Do you want to achieve any goal that you want to? Work out what that is. Work out what the meaningful work that you would do even if you had $1 million in the bank. And then once you find out that what that is, it can change, but find out what it is, figure it out, and then take some action towards achieving it. If you want to become a YouTuber, film your first video. If you want to be a bodybuilder, then start working out today. If you want to be a skateboarder, try learn how to do an ollie. Whatever you want your purpose to be, whatever you want your mission in life to be right now at this current stage, take some action towards it today. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you've learned how important having a purpose is if you want to be better than 99% of the men around you, please like this video and subscribe to the Unlimited Power channel for more self-improvement videos. I thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.